All right, we are just days away from Hell in a Cell. It is week 19. Welcome back to the Wrestling Rundown. I'm Travis Colt. We got Thomas Wolf. We got Kevin Hawk, and we have. Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
We have our very own Kevin Hawk.
Oh, I was one of those.
Congratulations. It's a boy.
With Kung Fu grip.
Yes, we're days away from Hell in a Cell, so that means we have pay-per-view predictions. But first, we're going to start off...
a pay-per-view is going to happen.
Oh, shit. I think you're right. But first, we're going to start with the Raw review, like we always do. And this week's Raw was good.
Raw review.
Am I wrong in saying that Raw was good this week?
No.
No.
All right, good. Because I was going to say, you guys are fucking liars. You said Raw wasn't good.
Raw was pretty damn excellent.
I think we all agree this is the best way a Raw should have been leading into a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
It sold the pay-per-view perfectly. If I didn't already...
Specifically Hell in a Cell, though.
And
I
yes.
mean, if these promos would have happened for, like, SummerSlam, it would have been really weird.
Yeah.
It's true.
I don't know. We did get a Dean Ambrose-Seth Rollins match, though. We did.
Well,
Kinda.
yeah. We'll get into that. But first we
Hardcore
opened
match.
up with very reminiscent of Evolution. We had the Authority, San Stephanie McMahon. Just the guys of the Authority.
No girls in Evolution allowed.
Yeah.
Girls can't evolve.
God. And that's how we're starting the rundown this week.
Boo.
Yeah, we had all four guys in suits making their way down to the ring. With the cell was lowered just enough where it was extremely ominous over the ring.
It was lowered a little too much, and Triple H hit his head.
Did you really?
No. It would have been
Wait.
hilarious, though.
But Kane somehow got under it just fine.
Kane ducked. Kane saw. He's like,
Kane's used to being too tall, so he's like, I'm ready for this.
He ducks under everything.
Triple H just went, oh fuck, that's not
No,
usually
what
a
it
problem
was,
for
he hit
me.
his nose.
Yeah, I was gonna say what it was. He didn't actually hit his head. He looked up to look at the cell and hit his nose on it.
But yeah, we get
Triple H has a big nose.
yes, I'm pretty
Hashtag
sure.
big nose, big nose.
I'm pretty
Man
sure.
and a big nose.
And moving on, we had
Hashtag phallic faced nose guy.
Hashtag moving on.
can I?
Hashtag yeah.
All right. Yeah. So we had Triple H really selling the devastation.
Hell in a selling
Yeah.
the devastation.
What?
Hell in a selling the devastation.
I see what he did there.
It took me a second, but now I realize. Yes, he was selling the hell.
He was selling the cell.
Selling the cell, the devastation that it can cause,
And the corporations it can create.
Not one segment can go by in the rundown without us referencing Chikara in any way,
Nope.
shape, or form. Thank you, Kevin Hawk.
Mhm.
No, Triple H is talking about how much destruction it can cause.
A lot.
All the different people that have come in
A lot.
Hell in a Cell, and also made the announcement that I know Thomas Wolf hates this. That now the winner of Randy Orton and John Cena will be the number one contender to face Brock
A lot.
Lesnar.
They'll be the number one contender a lot.
No, just once.
No, they'll be the number one contender a lot.
What I
They've
thought
already
was
been the
funny
number one contender a
though.
lot.
What's funny though is like generally number one contenders match. They label it the number one contenders match.
Oh
Yeah.
god!
On
Yeah,
the versus
yeah,
screen-
what the fuck?
On the versus screen when they were hyping the pay-per-view lineup, it was winner gets a future shot at the WWE Championship.
Yeah.
Get me right. Am I wrong in thinking that is the same thing as number one contender?
Well, okay, maybe what.
Or
Here's what I'm thinking.
The thing is, it's not specifying that person is next. In
Right,
line for the
exactly, and that's what I think they're going to do. Is there's potential that maybe someone else will face Brock Lesnar before
So
this person
it's
gets a shot.
winner gets to continue their career as normal match.
shot. And the
Well-
loser has to say that they lost to the other guy.
Yeah.
So
I just think this would be better given the fact that this is the losers match out of the two main events. It would be better if they said winner cannot challenge for the WWE title as long as Brock Lesnar remains champion. Or loser can't. Whichever I said. Whichever I should have said.
You want to do that again?
No.
I was going to try and save a segment, but okay.
I don't care.
No, I think it's good. I like the story twist they put on it, which we'll get into a little bit later with the next promo. Let's go and finish the segment up. We had Rollins and Orton kind of facing off of whose cell match was going to be the main event, or whose was the most important, and Triple H had to like try and calm them down and like, hey, you know what? It's co-main event. There's two.
You're
main
both
events.
pretty.
Yeah, pretty much.
Either way, both John Cena and Dean Ambrose are going to hell.
Yeah,
And so are you two.
Yeah,
but we're not going to tell you guys that ahead of time.
Then moving on from there, we have
And then Candida's Pyro.
Yeah,
Rollins
yeah,
and Ambrose are gonna, or Rollins and Orton are gonna get in the Hell in a Cell match, and they're gonna be like, "We're in hell too? What the?
Oh,
No one told us this."
What the here?
Okay.
Yep.
Our first match after the Hell in a Cell bit at the beginning, we had a rematch, kind of a rematch. We had Sheamus teaming up with the Usos to take on Dust to Dust and The Miz, who tagged in Damien Mizdow.
Yes, he gave Damien Mizdow a huge opportunity to be in a match involving 5 of the top WWE superstars.
So,
Yep.
essentially, Miz became a face when he put Damien Mizdow in the match.
Oh yeah.
It was the smartest decision Miz has made in the last 3 years of his career.
Yeah.
Since losing the WWE title. But
That
yeah.
was a smart decision.
Well, no. The losing of the title was the first bad decision in 3 years of making bad decisions.
I don't think he decided to lose the title, though.
I think he did.
Nope.
Yep.
Anyway, this match was Sandow free.
Sandowlicious. It was Mizdowlicious.
Yeah, just do that one.
Just do that one. No, it was a great match. You take out Miz not being the strongest wrestler out of the group of 6, and you throw in Sandow, who's
Also,
and then you make Sheamus the weak link.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's-
Sandow's also not the strongest wrestler, but he's so much more entertaining.
exactly, and he was able to take the entertainment level, and you've got the cohesive. The chemistry that you've got between the Usos and Dust to Dust already added in there,
Yeah.
and
Oh, that's a thing I didn't think we'd be saying a few weeks ago.
yeah, I know, right? But no, it worked out, and it was a super entertaining match because you've got Mizdow doing the entire Miz shtick in the match, and it was great, and you have Miz doing commentary on it.
Yeah.
But it would finish with Mizdow getting a roll-up on Sheamus, and the Miz freaking the fuck out at commentary.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest here, I had the same reaction, though. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Well, yeah, no one expected Mizdow to get a win on Monday Night Raw.
What we're gonna find out on SmackDown is that because of that, they're having Mizdow take Miz's place.
Yeah, it was a good match. I enjoyed watching the Miz freak out at the end.
Yeah.
So now I think we're kind of starting to get the Mizdow is going to become better than the Miz, and then it's going to be the war between the two of them of
Yeah.
who's really the
They're
lead
gonna
actor,
wrestle
who's
an
the stunt
identical
double.
match, and it's gonna be great.
They're just going to go for the same move every single time and
Yeah.
block it. They're just going to like.
In the words of somebody who I really appreciate their sense of humor, Miz is now playing second banana to his stunt double.
Who said that, Kevin?
I said that
Oh,
earlier.
that's right. No. So moving on, we have Triple H in the back. Randy Orton comes in and says, "Hey, I just want to thank you for adding the number one contender spot to the match. I think this is awesome. I'm going to make you proud."
You deserve it, and yada yada yada. But
But
you
it
should know.
wasn't my idea. It was actually Seth's idea. So Randy Orton ends up saying, "You know what? I guess I'll have to go thank Seth for adding that in," which
But I
does
wish you would add in the rest of his hair
RKO.
dye.
Everybody wants him to add in the rest of his hair dye. Then we get a remixed Wyatt vignette where they've combined all three. This is not TNA, sir.
It's a remix.
Yeah, we get the Luke Harper is free, the Eric Rowan is free, and the new Bray Wyatt promo all just kind of like rolled into one giant
Super promo.
vignette.
Super vignette.
Here's my conspiracy theory.
Okay.
I already told you
Yes,
my conspiracy
okay, yeah.
theory. This is something you'll appreciate because you like conspiracy theories in wrestling.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he did the 2 vignettes in a row. The Luke Harper is set free. The Eric Rowan is set free. When they commingled the all of the vignettes together, Eric Rowan gets set free just fine. But right before that, Luke Harper gets set free, but in the way that they do it, Bray Wyatt says Luke Harper, and they cut to Eric Rowan saying, "I'm going to hurt you." And then back to Bray saying, "You are set free." So my theory is Rowan is going to turn on Harper.
Therefore, CM Punk is the Wyatt family.
Yes.
All played by The Rock, who's actually the bunny.
Yeah.
Follow the Bunsards?
Follow the rabbit trail.
Speaking of crazy, up next we had AJ Lee versus Alicia Fox.
That's a lot of crazy. That's like
Crazy on crazy action of crazy.
HCA. Hot crazy action.
Yeah, sure. No, this was the match itself wasn't very long. Still entertaining.
AJ punched her right in the 5 head.
A couple of times. Yep. But the match really got interesting when we had Paige and Alicia like got in each other's face and they started shoving each other and we're like, whoa, wait a second, what's going on here? And
Paige threw Alicia back in the ring.
Yeah. And
Violently.
So Paige throws Alicia back into the ring and AJ's like, what are you doing? You get out of here. And Alicia rolls up AJ. And then we find out that it was a way to trick AJ into thinking that
It was a ruse the whole time.
we get the update that we are going to have AJ versus Paige for the Divas title at Hell in a Cell.
And
And I thought Hell in a Cell is starting to sound a lot like Night of Champions.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of title rematches.
yeah.
It's
Night of Cells.
Hell in a Champions.
okay. So we get we get Randy talking to Rollins, thanking him for adding adding the number 1 contendership to the Hell in a Cell. But then Rollins kind of flips it and says, that's it's good. If you can beat Cena and you go on and face Brock Lesnar and become the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. But either way, the future kind of fixes itself, and then it's still showing off that he's got that money in the bank. So pretty much, it's like, hey, if you can beat Brock Lesnar for me, then I'll
step on the back of your head.
Yeah, I'll step on the back of your head and I'll cash in and I'll win the WWE title. So thanks, Randy.
What's gonna be cool is someone's gonna beat Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins is gonna cash in, and then Brock Lesnar's not gonna be around for a rematch.
I'm fine with that. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, same.
I could give less of a shit if Brock Lesnar ever gets a rematch.
No, what I'm hoping is there's all this hype around it, no matter who wins the Orton Cena Hell in a Cell. That's so much hype that either Orton or Cena, whoever wins, is gonna beat Lesnar for the title, but Lesnar still wins that match, and Seth Rollins cashes in and beats Lesnar for the belt.
I'd be okay with that too, as long as Brock Lesnar stays away after that.
He'd stay away out of shame.
So then we get our third dose of Randy Orton because he'd come out to the ring.
He says, I've already been in the promo, in the ring, and 2 backstage segments. I haven't had enough time talking in front of the camera yet.
So he goes out and
by this time we are just so drunk on Randy Orton.
Yeah,
I was Randy Orton wasted at this point.
We're all on all kinds of hypervenom at this point.
I was putting my arms up in the air so hard. I was like, yeah, party skeleton, motherfucker.
I was spinning and punching the ground.
I was hearing voices. But I got tattoos all up and down my arm. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
One of them stuck.
I
Two of them stuck.
I still have a couple. So yeah, Randy just kind of starts going on his.
This one came from a night of punk, didn't he?
His he keeps going on how.
How the Royals aren't going to win the World Series.
Yeah, they really ripped into Kansas City.
Yeah.
Which is funny because Orton's from right down the road.
Well, he's the next town over, homeboy.
Yeah, but yeah, they're comparing the Cena to being the Royals and how that's never gonna happen and how he can't beat Orton and how they've had 100 million matches and how they're gonna end the feud in Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
That excites me.
The decade-long feud.
That excites me.
Yeah.
The fact that if this is actually gonna be like the last
I don't
time,
believe it.
Probably not, but let's pretend going into it that it will be.
All right.
It's gonna get my hopes up. This is gonna be the last time we're gonna see Cena and Orton in like a pay-per-view main event for at least like a year.
At least.
Yeah.
But then that would prompt Cena to come
Until
out.
Orton beats Lesnar and Cena wins the Royal Rumble.
Christ. And that's the
It's
match.
sad that could happen.
Yeah.
But then Daniel Bryan comes back and we get a
Triple threat
We get a
match.
triple
And
threat.
then Seth Rollins cashes in and Orton gets 3 matches. It's Fatal 4-way.
I'd be okay with that.
All right.
Yeah, this would
Fatal
prompt.
4-way elimination and Orton and Cena get eliminated right away.
Double schoolboy.
So we
roll-up.
just get Seth Rollins versus Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Okay. But this would prompt Cena to come out, and he starts talking on behalf of the Royals, which he kind of jinxed them because they lost the first. They lost the first game 7-1.
Yeah, he jinxed himself because, like, that was the comparison. He's like,
Oh, you're not losing. You're not winning Hell in a Cell.
You know what it was? Is he really reminded the Royals of how much they sucked 10 years ago by talking about how they lost like 100 games in the 2002 season? And they got all depressed and lost.
Yeah. Like, oh, man.
and what we don't know,
We can't do this.
what we don't know,
One of
and
them
I
knows
just
voodoo and just put a curse
and
on
I just
Cena.
figured out is that Vince McMahon was actually booking the match based on the outcome of that game. And that's why they did so much talk
Nice going, Cena.
about it.
Ooh.
But anyway,
Snap.
so yeah, they start talking about the decade that they've been fighting each other, the parallels in their career, but
And how Orton hasn't been relevant since the beginning.
yeah,
I like that.
2002 is the last time he was relevant, which is a lie because he won the title in 2004 from Steven Richards. But then once the past kind of comes into comes into the forefront of this story, we get the appearance of Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
Who comes out, starts talking about, hey, it's kind of interesting that back in 2002, the last time there was an undisputed world heavyweight champion, it was Brock Lesnar, and now in 2014, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion is Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Talking about how the fact that 2002 was the debut of Randy Orton, of John Cena, and of Brock Lesnar, which really adds a really cool element to this story.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that they were all new back then, and now they're all super established stars.
Yeah.
And
Leave it to Paul Heyman to come up with something really cool to add to a story that's been going on for so many years.
It just proves that he is an ultimate storyteller.
Yeah.
Like, if you want something fresh and new in a story, you just ask Paul Heyman.
Well, it's kind of brilliant, though, because it's like, everyone's tired of this, because it's like, man, this has been going on for 12 fucking years, and Paul Heyman's like, guys, this story's been going on for 12 years, and you're like, holy shit, that is awesome.
That's pretty much it.
Like, and the ways he's able to creep Lesnar into there and make Lesnar seem relevant into this thing.
Like
we know Lesnar's relevant because the winner faces Lesnar for the belt.
Right.
But everyone's going, we don't want to see another Lesnar pay-per-view. And then all of a sudden it's like, Oh yeah, and when they all first started, it was Cena, Orton, and Lesnar. They're like, oh yeah, now I want to see Lesnar pay-per-view.
Brock Lesnar.
I'm really, despite myself, pulling for Randy Orton Lesnar to counter this because we haven't seen that match.
Has
that never
slowest
happened?
world title match in history.
That
Yeah, it'd be
happened
wrestle
once.
for wrestling.
Orton Lesnar happened once in the first year, and Lesnar just ran right through him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
Lesnar was doing that.
Yeah, that was Lesnar's thing back in
So,
2002.
so technically we have seen that match, but we haven't really seen that match.
Yeah.
Plus, then we could get Paul Heyman Triple H promos as the build-up.
But yeah, this promo ends up boiling down. You know, you got tensions running high, and you get, you know, Cena finally hits that point. He picks up Paul Heyman for the attitude adjustment. He goes, no, I shouldn't do this. Puts him back down and gets an RKO for his troubles. And while Paul Heyman is sitting there laughing at him, and you know, wrong place, wrong time, then he gets hit with an RKO
Right out of some point.
because for the last week, RKO Mania has been
running
wild through the internet and media of all kinds.
Mania has been memeing wild.
There you go. I like that.
RKO Mimia.
You know, here's what I'm convinced is that just to keep himself relevant, Randy Orton is going to post his own vines of him RKOing people in public.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Kind of like the soccer player that RKO'd his teammate in celebration of a goal.
Yay! You scored a goal! Good job! Now you're unconscious.
Thanks, man.
Always wanted one of those.
Moving on, we had Rusev versus Big E. Very solid match. A lot of heavy hitting.
And solid, no pun intended, because those are very solid human beings.
Yeah.
Every human being is very solid.
That's true.
They are equally as solid as every other human being. They're just stronger. I'm not more liquid than Big E.
Maybe we are.
You drink a lot of Pepsi, so you might be.
Yeah, but like I pee it out also.
Okay.
Solid feeling, solid looking.
Okay.
Then.
Yes. Yeah.
More muscular.
Yeah.
Lots of heavy hitting.
Also heavy breathing.
Well, yeah, there's two big
dudes hitting each
You
other
gotta
hard.
breathe real hard if you want to keep slapping your thighs. Otherwise, you're just gonna pass out and you lose the match.
I breathe heavy whenever Lana's around.
Well,
That's why you're not allowed.
that's a whole different situation.
That's why you're not allowed around Lana anymore.
Yeah, that's why you have that restraining order. You need to
See
control.
that right there. That's why.
Yeah, it's creepy. I'm about to sign a restraining order.
Yeah, and then we'll have to switch spots on the couch,
Yeah,
and that'll be a whole thing.
Yeah, we're about to do that, by the way. It's been 19 really long weeks.
It's a Hey Arnold reference I'm making right now.
Yeah.
That was last week.
And this week, because that just happened.
Yep.
Moving
I'm
on.
gonna keep Hey Arnold references going every week.
Nope. We're done. So yeah.
You won't know because
Obviously Rusev ends up getting the win because he's not going to lose going into the match against Big Show at Hell in a
He
Cell.
accoladed the crap out of Big E Langston.
Yeah, he wrenches on that thing. Like, I didn't realize Big E was that flexible.
He does that yoga for regular black guys.
Not DDP yoga?
No, it's DDP yoga.
Okay.
It's DDP Yoga Black Guy Edition.
Yep.
All right. So then we get our usual Lana Rusev
page. Yoga.
We get our Lana Rusev promos. You know, hating on Big Show, blah blah blah. This Sunday
America's gonna turn on you when you lose.
Yeah, and this Sunday I'm going to crush you and drop the flag, and then nothing happens. I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
The big explosion happens, and initially I thought because they hung up Hell in a Cell, it fucked the flag up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like if they would have looked up, the flag would have been draped on the top of Hell in a Cell. Like
That could have actually been like really visually cool if they like put that camera the right angle.
yeah.
That wasn't
not the case.
That wasn't the case. So they're waiting for what's going on, and then you get Big Show's cheesy grin comes up on the Titan. Hey, look up! It goes off again. The American flag drops down, and then Rusev starts to get that. Wait a second, Big Show did this, so he goes up like he's gonna tear down the American flag, and then we get a soldier jumping into the ring to attack Rusev.
Wait, you mean that wasn't a real soldier? Probably.
No, it was a soldier.
Okay.
He gets in, one of the security guards out there tries to stop him, is holding him back, and he gets a big old fucking super kick right to the face. And
yeah,
the dude's out.
And skipping ahead to after the break, Colt was kind of a dick about the whole thing.
How's that?
Where he's like, I'm not condoning what Rusev did, but you shouldn't ever jump the barricade and get in the ring.
Well, that's true.
It's true, but everyone else is like, oh, poor soldier, he got kicked in the face by Rusev, and Cole's like, yeah, but he shouldn't have got in the ring.
Well, no, I think that's the best way to handle that, though, because it doesn't matter if you're a soldier or if you're a 12-year-old boy. You shouldn't be jumping into the ring.
I will pay money to see Rusev super kick a 12-year-old kid.
You are fucked up.
I know. But
An annoying 12-year-old.
no, I mean, to me, it's Cole had to do it.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that even though it's obviously that guy was a plant, it's that thing of saying, okay, now we have to cover our ass.
No, I get it, but it still came off as dickish.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Cole,
Michael.
everything Cole
Michael
does
Cole. He's
either comes off as dickish or gay twatish.
Wow. That is the Michael Cole spectrum, from dickish to gay twatish. Okay, we come back from commercial. They've helped the
Big Show helped the soldier guy in the back.
they've helped the soldier in the back, and Big Show is fucking livid.
He can't. He's speechless for the first 30 seconds of his promo.
Yeah, he keeps just making noises. He can't formulate words. That's how angry he is. And he's like, there's lines that you don't cross, and when you can't disrespect an American soldier, and when you do that, that's a line you crossed. And now, if it wasn't personal before, it is now. And Big Show, this was the most fired up promo that Big Show's had in a long time. You were mentioning when we were watching that he got to that
yelly voice.
That yelly voice that you can't understand what he says sometimes.
Yeah.
Big Show used to do that all the time back in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, where he just yells and spits and slobbers all over the place. He's just really upset. But just based on this promo, that Rusev is in the fight for his fucking life this Sunday.
Initially when Rusev's undefeated streak kept past Jack Swagger, I was like, okay, next guy's gonna beat him. And Mark Henry didn't beat him.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, next guy's gonna beat him. And then Big Show didn't beat him, on Raw and SmackDown. And I was like, alright, well, I guess he's gonna stay undefeated until he gets a super high profile pay-per-view match, which we kind of predicted before on this show.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm thinking, though, I think he's gonna lose to Big Show at this pay-per-view.
I have a different opinion.
Yeah, I don't think he'll lose.
But I feel like it'll help, though, if he does, because they're obviously trying to build Rusev up as the next big heel star, I think.
Yeah, they're trying.
To see if he can come back from a big loss.
Yeah.
And stay relevant.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll end with Big Show, but we will have to wait and see. I want you, Thomas, to talk about the next promo, because as soon as it happened, you were the one I thought about.
Yeah. So Dean Ambrose was watching Barney. Oh wait, no, that was on the internet.
That was a meme.
Yeah. Oh fuck. Okay. So he wasn't watching Barney. He was watching Nikki Bella. No, shit, that was a meme too. Oh yeah, he was watching See No Evil.
Yes, that was it.
The second one.
Yeah, the second one. The
See No Evil.
I almost called it a remake. The sequel.
Kane didn't do a good job, so they brought on the Undertaker.
See No Evil 2. Still not seeing the evil.
He was really into this movie.
Yeah, he had popcorn and everything.
Yeah, and he was jumping, and I didn't think anything could scare Dean Ambrose.
I feel like if you get Dean Ambrose in the right kind of setting, he's afraid of everything.
Maybe, but I just didn't. It surprised me to see Dean Ambrose so scared. Then Cena comes in,
It startles him.
Yeah. Because he thought it was Kane, I think.
Yeah.
Whew, well, I mean, yeah, he's like, fuck, I'm in the building with that guy.
He's here wearing a suit.
I'm supposed to be wrestling him later.
So Cena comes in and Dean Ambrose jumps and spills popcorn everywhere. Not really, but, you know, kind of. And he's like, dude, what are we going to do? We have to fight that.
It's like,
Cena's like, what are you doing? He goes,
I'm doing research for a match.
Yeah.
This Cena Evil 2 is.
this guy's sadistic. And Cena's kind of like,
This is what you do. This is
are
how
you,
you.
are you serious,
This,
bro?
this is how you get ready for matches. You watch movies. He goes, well, yeah, it's Kane. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember what Cena said, though, like, really to lead into it. But then Dean Ambrose did the comparison to how Cena is like Superman. He's, you know, truth, justice, and the American way.
And a
Always,
square American jaw.
yeah. Big, strong cheekbones. And Dean Ambrose is more like Batman, just kind of doing his own thing.
Likes to
Likes to
Likes
punch
to
people.
punch bad guys.
like to beat up scumbags.
Yeah,
And he has been known to wear a cape.
yeah.
That's where.
Which I'm
I
sure
about
Renee
died
Young
of
knows
laughter.
about.
That the delivery from Dean Ambrose was hysterical. His promos never cease to make me laugh in some way, and yeah, the comparison is just like, you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go out there. We're gonna fight them. We're gonna throw everything we can at them.
We're gonna
And-
hit everything that moves.
And yeah, we're gonna hit anything that moves. And if we go down, we're gonna take as many of them down with us as we possibly can.
Cena said he liked the plan,
Oh, that's right. Okay.
and that as far as the Batman comparison goes, the Dean Ambrose is more like the Joker.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, I forgot about that. I'm so serious.
Yeah.
And then he failed to throw popcorn in his mouth.
Which is kind of Joker-esque, I would think. Because Joker does one thing, and it's the opposite of what you expect.
But yeah, another golden Dean Ambrose promo. We move on. We had Brie Bella versus Summer Rae, which was a decent match.
Yeah.
This is where we get another long title for a match that's coming up. It's loser has to be the winner's personal assistant for 30 days.
Yeah.
That's the Bella versus Bella at
way too...
Bella in a Cella.
Instead of, like, calling matches things, now they're just, like, blatantly explaining the match to us.
Describing.
Yeah, it's like we don't know.
Right.
Like we don't know the difference.
Like, the graphics going to come up, Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose, Hell in a Cell. Loser is the one whose shoulders are pinned to the mat for 3 seconds.
I really hope they don't start doing that.
I would laugh really hard
That
at that.
pissed me
And
off.
or taps out to a submission hold.
Gonna be honest, that's gonna be a meme coming up here.
And also the referee has the power to stop the match if he deems one person unable to continue.
Pretty much, just read the WWE rulebook, and
Which
that's
exists, I guess.
Yeah.
You can-
Shawn Michaels apparently had one when he was commissioner.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. I'd like a copy.
Yeah.
I want to know all the rules.
WWE recently did an article on WWE.com of 5 rules that you might not know exist.
I'll have to check that out. But yeah, Brie Bella versus Summer Rae was decent. Brie Bella won with what I'm now dubbing the yes factor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my name for it. Then we see that Dean Ambrose is on his way to the ring, and he's got a very strangely shaped giant bag.
Sort of a duffel bag backpack hybrid.
Like I initially thought it was his Batman cape.
Yeah.
But then he gets down to the ring and he drops it, and it looks a little suspicious.
Looks like there might be a dead body in there.
Potentially. And so Dean Ambrose begins the punniest promo he's ever done by pulling out the
Corporate puppet.
the corporate puppet Seth Rollins, sitting him in a chair and talking about how he's gonna screw him. He's gonna hammer his point to just pulling all these different.
Saw something in a dream.
Yeah. I'm just gonna This isn't a pun, but he was going to cut off his testicles, but he realized that he already sold them to the authority.
So I can't do that.
He brought out the tongs of justice.
Yeah.
This old classic. And then he's crushing the not.
Yeah, that was weird because
the non-existent balls.
Yeah, he already said they're not there.
The dummy still has them though.
Oh, okay.
He's saying this is what
So
I
you mean-
would do if he had.
What do
okay.
you mean to the dummy then?
Yeah. This would bring Seth Rollins out.
Oh, he also ripped the
Yeah,
dummy's hand off.
yeah.
That was funny.
Yes,
So it doesn't have to get his hands dirty.
You know
Yeah.
what? It's almost a shame that the dummy didn't have like a Mr. Potato Head on the face, so he could just
So
like
you
rip
rearrange the face.
Rip his face off.
That would have been
Yeah.
great. He did mention the half dyed hair though.
Yeah.
But yeah, Seth Rollins had come down and let's start. Oh yeah, you're so funny, Ambrose.
Side note: Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury kissed.
Yeah. Go back and watch their entrance
Yeah.
to the ring. They kissed twice.
Full
It's
on
really awkward.
makeout session.
Yeah.
Not really.
No, not well. Maybe
I don't know.
Not for me.
maybe there's deleted scenes.
Once their faces got close together, there was so much shadow
Yeah.
because of the spotlights.
There
it was hard
could
to
there
see.
could have been a ton of tongue. I don't know.
I think there was a tongue of ton.
Holy shit.
A metric shit tongue.
But then we get a.
That sounded way
I don't
grosser.
want that.
That sounded way grosser out loud. A shit tongue. Oh, that's gross.
We get Dean Ambrose, giving Seth Rollins a hand as he's clapping with the broken arm of the dummy. Seth Rollins saying, I don't sweat you, Ambrose. I don't sweat Hell in a Cell.
I don't sweat your power drill.
Yeah,
Which you
that's
should.
scary as hell.
Yeah.
I would not want if I was facing Dean Ambrose. I don't want him with a power drill.
I'm gonna be honest. Anyone who's repeatedly threatening to rip my face off, I'm not going near them if they have a power tool in their hand.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, if they have means to rip my face off, I'm not going towards them at all.
Yeah.
But Seth Rollins is in the ring and they're getting ready to, they're probably the closest they've been just talking. Then we get Mick Foley.
Closest they've been since they were buddies.
Yeah.
Then we get Mick Foley.
Yeah, Mick Foley comes out
And then we got Mick Foley.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing that now.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
We got Mick Foley.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So beardy.
Yeah.
Oh,
This
yeah.
man.
Like, well, he's been filming his.
You could see that how much beardier you get when you have that testicular fortitude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It shows in your beardiness.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he has been filming his I'm Santa Claus documentary.
That's also true. He noted it was the 300th consecutive day of him wearing
Yeah.
Santa Claus themed attire.
Yeah. Ever since his halfway to Christmas celebration.
Yeah, he decided last Christmas he decided he's going to do 365 days of Christmas
Santa Claus themed attire.
Yeah, Christmas themed attire.
And that
And
is
he's-
because.
He's a Christmaholic.
And he is his documentary, I Am Santa Claus, is
Also, because he's trying to hold on to the last of his innocence that he lost in the Hell in a Cell match. I was trying to bring it back around.
good job because he starts talking about this is what we're talking about, like selling the pay-per-view. Mick Foley did that in a way that nobody else could because Mick Foley has the most iconic moment in Hell in a Cell history.
Yeah, what I like is this moment took basically we had that moment at the very beginning of the show where we found out that Orton versus Cena was going to be for the number one contender spot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I went, oh, well, that kind of overshadows Rollins and Ambrose. Because now those two guys are fighting for something while Rollins and Ambrose are just fighting.
Yeah.
And then Foley came out and cussed his promo and I go, alright, now this match feels way more important even though there's nothing on the line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think this particular match is super important because, like we said last week, it's the first time since Taker and Shawn that two Hell in a Cell virgins are facing each other in the match. And the fact that you have Mick Foley coming out and selling it just as, this most barbaric match and, the things that he lost and it was the most unbelievable promo. I always love when Mick Foley shows up.
Well, and he was telling him how, it's not the physical scars that are going to stick with you, but the psychological ones.
Yeah.
I like the part that hit home for me was where he noted that he's divided his life into two sections.
Yeah.
Pre-Hell in a Cell and post-Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
Very ominous message for both guys going into the match.
Yeah. Because that just makes me so much more excited to see what these two are. It makes me excited but scared at the same time. Like what these two are willing to do. You were saying,
Yeah, my idea was that, Foley's showing up and hyping up Hell in a Cell, and a big point he keeps hitting on was the falling off the cell and how that changed his life. I'm thinking maybe this is going to be the first time since the recreation of the Hell in a Cell, where they made it bigger.
Right, it's super tall.
That they're actually going to fight on top of the cell.
Yeah, there hasn't actually been a fight on top. Like, the closest thing was Punk beating the hell out of Heyman with a kendo stick, which was last year.
Yeah. It's.
I'm nervous and excited.
Well, what made me
I don't
even
know what
more
to think.
nervous for it though is one, Dean Ambrose fired back with but I'm not afraid to put more psychological scars on top of the other psychological scars I already have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the things that you had said when I came up with that idea to you was like, do you think management will let them do that? And in my head, I don't remember, I said something, I had like my own argument for it, and now I'm thinking more so along the lines, the other argument is, how would they stop them?
Yeah.
Once the match starts, what would they do? Even if they didn't know what they had planned.
Like,
True,
thing,
because I mean, no one knew that Mick Foley was going off the top.
Well, the only possible thing they could do, which they wouldn't because it would screw everything up, is cut the feed. That wouldn't stop them, but that would stop it from getting aired.
I think if anything, they'd just stop the match at that point. Like,
Yeah.
Vince would just tell the referee to stop, but at the same time, I don't think Vince would do that.
Yeah.
And because Mick Foley's talked about how Vince came up to him after that match and said, "You know what? I appreciate everything you've done." He's always said that Mick went above and beyond for the business.
Yeah,
that night.
But the counter to that is, it is a new era, and they needed that at the time because of WCW.
Yeah.
Nowadays they don't need that because of TNA.
Yeah. But and at the same time, I don't think it's necessary that they need it. It's more so that Rollins, if it happens, it's just Rollins and Ambrose wanting to make a statement, and that makes me super scared.
Yeah,
like I don't know what to think.
There's a chance that if it is planned, they'll have some sort of safety net-ish fill-in brought down, like they did when Taker chokeslammed Rikishi off onto the truck bed.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the closest thing we got to that, and it was a pretty soft. I mean,
it
probably
still looked
it probably wasn't the most comfortable landing, but
he had hay stuck in there for years.
With all of that ass,
he's still
so much hay would fit in there.
People getting stink faces, spitting out pieces of.
If you know how much hay would fit in Rikishi's ass crack, post in the comments.
That'd be the strange. Well, it'd be the only comment we get, but it'd be the strangest comment we get. But yeah,
it'd also be the most normal one.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's sad.
Amazing selling job from Mick Foley. I love it every time Mick Foley shows up. This was just an added to an already great Raw.
Another thing that makes this kind of a big deal-y is that Roman Reigns, honestly, was WWE's breakout star from The Shield.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When The Shield split up. And he had his big high-profile pay-per-view match already.
Right.
This is Rollins and Ambrose's first one-on-one high-profile match, and it's against each other.
Other than their lumberjack match.
That wasn't very high-profile.
Yeah, that wasn't as
Well, yeah, it's not.
I mean, that was high-profile for us as.
It's high-profile for the feud itself, but as far as match-wise goes.
Yeah. I mean,
this is.
Let's be honest. The lumberjack match on that card was what we were all looking forward to the most because it was Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, but the company didn't see it as much more than just another match on the card. this is
Joke's on you.
This is a match that they're really taking notice of these two and being like, you know what, they need to be in the main event.
Yeah, and it was one of those moments too where you're like, okay, well here's Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins, we're putting them on my pay-per-view, and Ambrose gets to pick the stipulation, everybody gets so excited, and he's like, lumberjack match, and everybody kind of goes,
But he made a lumberjack match exciting.
Fantastic.
Yeah, he did.
But it was just like, it's
Yeah.
like they picked one of the least exciting stipulations in the company,
Yeah.
and so now it's kind of like, okay, now here we're going to see the real potential of the one-on-one match between Rollins and Ambrose.
Yeah.
And then dummy Seth Rollins did a plancha over the top rope onto the cruiserweight division.
And
Seth
And
Rollins.
Joey Mercury no-sold it.
Yeah. Joey Mercury no sells dummies. Good for you, Joey Mercury.
You're no dummy.
At least it wasn't a ladder.
Oh. That's why he no-sold it. He's afraid anytime an inanimate object gets thrown towards his face.
He's afraid his face is gonna explode.
Yeah.
Oh. Moving on, our next match we had Cesaro versus Dolph Ziggler, which again stole the freaking
match
show.
of the night,
So fucking good.
match of everything.
Just so many great reversals back and forth.
Yeah, this was so counter after counter after counter
Yeah.
kind of thing.
It was so much like anything you can do, I can do better, and it was just back and forth, nonstop action, so good. Ended with an uppercut,
Yeah, that was...
which I was not expecting.
I loved it though.
Yeah.
you loved
Because
just
it was a real throwback too to the like Cesaro of old and like the people who know him from the Claudio Castagnoli days.
Yeah.
The European uppercut is his big thing.
Oh yeah.
You know, he's still a big thing, but he's really never used it other except than the lifting European uppercut
Right.
as like a finish.
Yeah.
And him hitting this super high impact European uppercut for the finish.
Yeah. Just great
This match was
match.
beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not just because Dolph Ziggler was involved.
It was artwork
Yeah, absolutely.
in wrestling match.
Just
form.
beautiful match all around. Not much more we could say about it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
I want to
match-
talk more about it because
the
I
match
feel like...
speaks for itself.
Yeah.
I mean, if you haven't watched
I
Raw
was
this
at
week,
home.
go back and watch it.
I was at home watching this match by myself, and at the end I stood up and clapped.
And then he
Yeah.
came over here, and him and I watched it again.
Yeah,
And it was awesome. Still.
Like, I want to talk about this match more because I feel like it deserves it, but I don't know what to say about it.
There's not. That's the great thing about Cesaro and Ziggler is that both of them are such hard workers, and both of them give their all in every match they're in. You don't have to speak their praises because they do it themselves. You know, you don't have to go, oh, this was a great move by this guy. Of course it was. It's Dolph Ziggler. You know, this was a great feat of strength by Cesaro. Of course it was. It's Cesaro.
Right.
You don't. You know, there's nothing we can say to make them sound any better than they already show off. Ha! I didn't even intend to do that. Show off.
Roadhouse.
But up next,
Showhouse.
Up next, we had Triple H letting everyone know that Uncle Kane is in charge. We still had Rollins and Orton really bickering, really angry at each other, and then Kane yelling, going, "Hey,
Listen to me!"
And yeah,
He bitched them out.
oh yeah,
And he made them his bitches.
Triple H. When Triple H put Kane in charge, he left the room.
Yeah, he walked away, and then the camera pans out a little bit, and he's just standing right off camera smirking.
It's like Kane is just ripping them both a new one. Like we're gonna go out there. You're gonna follow my lead, and we're gonna destroy Dean Ambrose and John Cena before we even get to Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay,
Yeah.
yes, Uncle Kane.
Like, that's the moment that told you there would be no horse shitting around in this match.
There's that word, horseshitting.
Definitely no horse assing around either.
Horse assing, horseshitting.
Horse assing is a horse that stealthily kills people.
But speaking of horse shit, this was not a street fight. This was a 2-on-3 handicap tag match, and every
With
so
with
often,
weapons
every
occasionally
so
used.
often they're like, let's go hit each other with stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it started out with everyone kind of in the ring.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
brawling.
it started
It was
off
like,
as,
okay, this is going to be really cool.
but then it broke down. Like Cena got in a corner and Kane got in a corner. I was like, wait, they're gonna tag?
Yeah.
What the fuck's going on
I
here?
really hate when they followed the tag rule in no disqualification style match.
Yeah, it didn't make sense. I did like the random breakdowns into brawls
'Cause that's what
and
it was
weapons
supposed to
and
be.
shit.
Right.
We had Cena doing a dive again. We had John Cena or Dean Ambrose doing the elbow drop off the table, and we had all kinds of fun stuff. But then once the Authority gets the advantage again, they're like, "Bring down the cell," and we're like, "Oh shit!" Now stuff's starting to get a little crazy.
Dean Ambrose outside of the cell perimeter.
Yeah,
Cena.
And they were
Gonna
trying to
be-
rush the cell down.
Yeah, Cena going to be locked alone with the Authority.
yeah,
And Dean had his Indiana Jones moment.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
got to roll in at the last second.
and then
Too bad he didn't have a hat.
He went ding, 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 ding.
Too bad he didn't have a hat to slide off, to fall off him, for him to grab at the last second, too.
Yeah.
should have been like the W's arm. Just gets and starts hitting people with it. Randy Orton got into a fight with a table.
Best part of the match. Fuck you!
And then
then he had to clear a path because he was gonna throw Cena into the cell, so he had to clear a path out of the way. So he grabs the table legs and goes, move.
That was the best. Oh,
I just
man.
imagine as like a whiny little kid Randy Orton too. Move.
when he
Get out of your table.
when he got flung
Let
over the
me
top
do
rope
it.
and almost got stabbed by the
Yeah,
table
he
legs.
got flung over the top rope and almost
Like-
was impaled by the table.
Like,
Yeah.
I think that it was like fear triggered anger, and he went, "Fuck you!" and threw the table across the floor. Oh my god, I lost my shit. It was so.
We didn't really know what it was, but the match was actually billed backstage as the Authority versus John Cena, Dean Ambrose, and the table.
Yeah, the table was a secret partner for John Cena and Dean Ambrose.
Randy Orton was the only one that caught on.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, so the match breaks down. Randy Orton ends up winning with an RKO on Dean Ambrose.
As the
And-
counter to the slingshot clothesline.
Yeah,
that was sick.
and I said to her when it happened, I was like, oh, I was expecting either a power slam or an RKO out of that. And then when it happened for the finish, I was like, oh, I fucking called it. Yeah, great finish spot. And Randy Orton stays down for a little extra couple of seconds, which allows Seth Rollins to hit the curb stomp on him. And we end Raw with Seth Rollins standing tall with 4 other bodies around him.
And the table.
Table bodies.
Five bodies. Yeah.
Body
Half the
tables.
table over here, half the table's over here.
5 of the top competitors in WWE today.
Yep. I enjoyed Raw thoroughly from beginning to end.
Raw was fun. It was cool. It was exciting
it was
for once.
It was a great way to start off the week. Great way to set up for Hell in a Cell.
I peed a little when Mick Foley came out.
That doesn't surprise me.
I peed a little just now.
That surprises me. That's it for the Raw review.
I squeezed
Uh,
my fangirl.
We've got a lot more coming up. We've got indie news. We've got 5 matches that everyone should see. We have the midweek wrap up. We got the SmackDown rundown, and we have Hell in a Cell predictions coming up. They're all over in a playlist. Whatever you want to watch, go and click the video over there. Comment, like,
God, you're
favorite.
putting so many things.
They're all over on the other side of Kevin Hawk's face, and he's trying to lick my fingers, and we're not going to do that. But like, favorite, subscribe, comment,
camera.
do all kinds of stuff. Share us on Facebook, like us on Facebook. All of our information is down in the description, and we will see you at the Indie News.